The North Carolina High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame is pleased to induct its 24th class into the prestigious hall. These individuals in the class of 2010-11 have combined for hundreds of years of service to the young people of our state. Our inductees joining the hall this year include coaches and athletic administrators, bringing the total number in the hall to 132. And now, let's meet this year's inductees. Harvey Brooks earned a reputation as a coaching legend in North Carolina. A graduate of Boyden High School in Salisbury and then Pfeiffer College, Brooks was a head coach in a variety of sports and at a number of schools during his career of over 40 years. He was a head coach in football, basketball, baseball, and track, and his coaching stops included Norwood, South Stanley, John Graham, Princeton, Charles B. Aycock, and Jones Sr. His basketball teams won 320 games during his career, but he really made his mark in football. He compiled an outstanding career coaching mark of 238 victories, 99 losses, and 3 ties in football, winning 24 conference championships. He spent 15 years at Princeton, where he coached Mike Atkinson, who set numerous state records. Here is his 1977 team at Princeton, and here is his 1985 Princeton squad, and his coaching staff there as well. Coach Brooks took Princeton to new heights in athletics and became known as a guru of the single-wing offense, running it effectively when it was supposedly out of vogue. Coach Brooks, who coached the East team in the 1982 North Carolina Coaches Association Football All-Star Game, comments on this recognition.
It was very enjoyable. It's still very enjoyable, and a lot of the young men turned out to do well for themselves, have good character, and this makes me proud of anything that ever happened to them. I loved all my kids I work with, just like my own. I tried to teach them right from wrong and punish them when they did wrong and put my arm around them, come out and buy them a hamburger and a Coca-Cola after it was over with. I didn't try never to hold a grudge against anybody. What was done, and start from there. And as I said, a lot of people probably know more about X's and O's, but they don't love it. I don't believe much any more than I do, because I just love it. I love it right now. I'd give anything if I get up and start coaching tomorrow, and they wouldn't have to pay me.
Here Harvey is shown with his great-granddaughters at the Princeton football field. One of our state's outstanding coaches, and now a member of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame, Harvey Brooks. Alton Tooney Brooks enjoyed a great career as a teacher, coach, and athletic administrator. He was a graduate of Charles Kuhn High School in Wilson, where he starred in football, winning the 1944 state championship, baseball, another state title and batting average well over 300, and also basketball. He went on to be an outstanding player in baseball and basketball at Wake Forest, serving as captain of both teams in 1952, and also playing in the Pan American Games in baseball. His first coaching job was in Edenton at Holmes High School in 1953, and he coached there for 5 years. Then he began a stint at Lumberton that would run from 1958 through 1989, including 30 years as athletic director. He's shown at Wright with assistant coach Findley Reed. His football teams there went 73, 39, and 5 in 10 years and won 7 league titles. In basketball, his Pirates won over 300 games, 4 conference championships, and 2 district titles, finishing 3rd in the state twice. In 1992, the stadium at Lumberton was named in honor of Coach Brooks. And in 2005, he was inducted into the North Carolina Athletic Directors Hall of Fame. And as this editorial in the local paper shows, Coach Brooks was about much more than just wins and losses. Tooney's son reflects on Coach Brooks' career and this honor.
He would come home and would have films of the previous week's ball games, and I would go in the living room and he'd have a projector and it would be on the wall, and he would click back and forth. He'd run a play, click it back, start over, run a play, and just studying every detail. He was real particular on details. And I remember that more than anything, but he never brought anything home negative. Oh, they're extremely proud. I've got a sister and a brother, and we all three have families, and everybody's just, this is a very proud moment for the Brooks family as a whole. I would never have thought that I would have been sitting here. You know, I wish he was here to be able to do it, I really do, but it's just been real special for our family.
An endowed scholarship has been established in his honor at UNC Pembroke, the largest athletic scholarship at the university. An outstanding coach and administrator, and now a member of the NCHSAA Hall of Fame, Toonie Brooks. Tom Brown is one of our state's most successful high school football coaches. A native of Pennsylvania, Tom was a standout athlete, shown here as number 50 on the junior high school football team, and then as a star at Lewistown High School. He came south to play football at Lenorine College in Hickory for Clarence Stasevich, playing on some nationally ranked powerhouses. After graduation, he embarked on a very successful coaching career that centered on the town of Maiden in Catawba County. Here he is in 1966, in his first year at head coach at Maiden, and then the following year with assistant coach Lanny Barefoot. Brown would coach in 5 different decades, including 36 years at the Blue Devil helm and 4 at Bunker Hill. His teams won a whopping 352 games in his career, including 330 at Maiden, the most by a coach at a single high school in state history. Maiden won the 1978 2A championship and was a perennial title contender, winning or sharing 17 league championships. He also served as the Maiden athletic director for many years. He coached in all the significant all-star games our state has to offer, including serving as head coach in the Shrine Bowl. Tom takes a look back at his stellar career.
We had a lot of community support, very small businesses, and so we taxed those people hard and fundraising and stuff like that, but they were always great about it and helped us a lot. I think the being able to make the transition from being the small rural community school to being able to compete on a level with the Hendersonvilles and the Polk counties and those people, and then of course Newton Conover, and we play Hickory and so you know there's a lot of challenges there as the AD to try to fund that, and that becomes a very difficult thing, as you well know. So many people, and you know, as I laid in bed last night thinking about the day and the honor it would be, I started reminiscing about the Jamie Popes and the Mackie Reinhardts, and all of a sudden I started thinking about all the kids that are deceased. And you know, you have a lot of deceased kids. Dale Alexander, I carry 2 pictures in my wallet. It was my first Shrine Bowler, that's Alex Williams, and he's dead. And I carry a picture of Dale Alexander, and he was my first athlete ever killed in Vietnam. That's the only pictures I got in my wallet of football players. And you know, my wife gets mad because I don't have any pictures of her, but I got pictures of football players. So, you know, you think about all those people that were involved in this actually happening. If it weren't for them, it doesn't happen.
Tom enjoys golf, shown here with longtime coaching colleague Butch Parker, Toby Keith, and current Indiana University head coach Kevin Wilson, a former player of Brown's at Maiden. And Tom has always enjoyed his family, shown here on a couple of trips to favorite beach spots. One of our state's outstanding football coaches, and now a member of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame, Tom Brown. Bob Catapano has made tremendous contributions to high school athletics in many areas, as both an amazingly successful soccer coach and athletic director. Bob grew up in Glen Rock, New Jersey, but came south to attend North Carolina State University, graduated in 1973, and never left. From 1977 to his retirement, he served at Sanderson High School in Raleigh, developing a soccer dynasty. His teams won 17 conference championships and an incredible 11 state titles. The state championships all coming between 1977 and 1996. Here is a shot of the 1986 state champs, and here is one of the 88 champions. The program received national recognition for an incredible multi-year unbeaten streak, such as in Sports Illustrated here as the streak built. The Spartans wound up compiling a then national record 103 consecutive games without a loss. For his career, Catapano compiled a record of 363 victories against just 44 defeats and 21 ties. He received a National Merit Award from the National Intercollegiate Soccer Coaches Association and has been recognized by the North Carolina Soccer Hall of Fame. A well-respected athletic administrator, Bob was inducted into the North Carolina Athletic Directors Hall of Fame in 2009. The Sanderson legend reflects on a great career.
Well, the number 103 will go to my grave with me, for sure. You know, everybody always brings up the 103 consecutive games without a loss that was achieved by the 82 through 87 teams. And that was just a really fun time, and we had great players. It garnered lots of media attention. I think it shined the spotlight on high school soccer. I am so impressed with the skill levels of the players here in the 2Ks, and there are so many talented teams. Back in the 80s and the 90s, there were some very talented teams, but there weren't as many as there are right now. Things are so competitive. You know, teams that lose in the first or second round are excellent teams. Oh, certainly, the emotion was certainly not me. There must be some mistake. I think, are you sure you got the right telephone number? I've had many more honors in my career than any coach should really expect to receive. And I've had several very high ones, and this is certainly among them.
In a fitting tribute, the field at Sanderson High School has been named in recognition of his great service. He has also made the time to enjoy his family, and this 2010 photograph attests to, quote, his ladies, end quote. An outstanding coach and athletic director, and now a member of the NCHSAA Hall of Fame, Bob Catapano. Born in Wilkes County, the late Joe Hunt made an indelible mark as a football coach in North Carolina. After high school, he enlisted in the Navy, shown here in a 1944 photograph. Then, after World War II, he went to Western Carolina, where he was an outstanding football player. Hunt then began his coaching career at Sylva Webster High School. His teams there posted a record of 87 wins, 43 defeats, and 6 ties, winning 4 conference championships, including 1952 and 53 shown here. He also earned the adulation of many fans in the area. In 1964, Hunt headed to Hendersonville and continued his winning ways with the Bearcats. His teams there won 118 games, lost just 40, and tied 2 in a 14-year span. Here is one of those outstanding squads. Hendersonville won 5 conference championships during Hunt's tenure as a head coach, and he also served as the school's athletic director. Here he is as a member of the North Carolina Shrine Bowl contingent in 1970, and is shown with his wife Dot at his retirement celebration with a commissioned painting on Joe Hunt Day in Hendersonville. Niece Marcia Cashin talks about Coach Hunt's career.
He was very fair to his team, but he was very firm about what he wanted. The guys loved him, and the parents loved him, because a lot of letters that we have gotten from former players and their parents, they knew that their boys were getting the right kind of guidance when they played for Joe Hunt. He was a role model in our family, not just to me, because I was an only child, and my aunt and Uncle Joe and Dot were my second parents. We also have a daughter, and Uncle Joe was the big kid. He loved Christmas, and he would say, "Now, go tell him it's time to open the presents." You know, he was just like one of us.
Joe enjoyed playing golf and was also an avid outdoorsman. Here he is, shown upon induction into the Jackson County Hall of Fame, and he also served on the NCHSAA Board of Directors. One of North Carolina's top football coaches, and now a member of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame, the late Joe Hunt. Carolyn Rogers has enjoyed an excellent career as a coach in several sports, but is also known for her outstanding work in the NCHSAA Student Services Program. After graduating from high school in South Carolina, Carolyn attended Western Carolina University. After a couple of years teaching in Virginia and then in Rockingham County, Carolyn came to Perquimans, where she spent 37 years. She coached cheerleading, track and field, basketball, and volleyball during her time there. Her volleyball teams made it to the state finals twice and won 10 conference championships. She had a .303 and .135 record in that sport and won several Coach of the Year awards. But her influence has been felt well beyond the playing field or court. She has been very involved with the association's Student Services Program, including the Student Athlete Summer Institutes, or SASE. She served for many years as advisor to Students Against Destructive Decisions, or SAD, and Students Using Responsible Guidelines to Teach Drug Education, or SURGE. She has also worked with the NCHSAA Coach Captain Retreats. She's been recognized by a local television station for her community service, has also been honored previously by the NCHSAA, and was the first female recipient of the prestigious Toby Webb Award. Carolyn looks back at her time in education.
The highlights are winning my first regional, going to the state for the first time, and then repeating that the second year. That's just, and of course the games leading up to that, they just, you just don't forget those kinds of things. I think the biggest challenge is finding your athletes who are dedicated, who have a passion for the game, who are willing to, maybe sacrifice those part-time jobs or different things to give all to a sport. I became part of the staff, and for 18 years went every summer to a SASE camp, and hundreds of kids I've taken over the years, and it's been one of their best experiences, I think. I just thought, I'm just so humbled. I'm just, I know there's so many other great people out there, and that, I'm just honored. I'm just so thankful, and I know it's the most special award, I guess, that's ever been bestowed upon me.
Family has always been very important to Carolyn, and she enjoys spending time with family members in a variety of different settings. A great coach, student services advocate, and now a member of the NCHSAA Hall of Fame, Carolyn Rogers. Marilyn Tucker has distinguished herself during her career as an outstanding coach and an innovative athletic administrator. A graduate of Stoneville High School, where she was an outstanding athlete, Q graduated from Mars Hill College and then embarked on an excellent coaching career. For a period of 12 years, she coached volleyball and women's basketball first at the junior high level and then at Reedsville Senior High School, compiling a record of 145 and 104 in basketball. In 1989, she went to work as an assistant women's basketball coach at North Carolina State University under the legendary Kay Yow. In 1991, she came to the North Carolina High School Athletic Association to start its acclaimed Student Services Program. She soon became involved in all aspects of association work, dealing with eligibility and working with specific sports programs. She became Deputy Executive Director, now Deputy Commissioner, in January 2005. Q received a National Federation citation in 2007 and joined the ranks of the North Carolina Athletic Directors Hall of Fame in 2010. She has also served as the Mistress of Ceremonies for the National Federation Hall of Fame, and for a couple of years did color for radio broadcast of NC State women's basketball. Q looks back at her career.
When I first started coaching, I was at a junior high school up in the mountains, and I always knew that working with those young girls, that it was just something that I loved to do. And it made me want to move to the next level, which was high school. And of course, I had that opportunity in my hometown, and great families, very supportive all the time I was in high school. And then of course, when you move to the next level, you get young people that you go out and recruit, and the skill level changes. And so I feel like I've just been so blessed that I was able to experience it at all of those levels. And I was really fortunate that I worked with supportive people there. Charlie gave me the freedom to do some things, and we were able to go out and begin working with athletic directors. And we wanted to do some things from the top down, knowing that we had to change attitudes at that level, begin to help them understand how important it is to have young people who are substance abuse free, who understand the balance between athletics and academics. And I think that's the proudest that I am. I'm proud of that more than anything else. But one thing that I do notice, though, is that it seems to be a little bit more of a struggle, I think, sometimes because there's so much pulling on them in terms of their time, things that they can do. Whereas back when I was coaching, you know, it was Friday night football. Then when basketball rolled around, it was Tuesday, Friday night basketball. Everybody came, and that was really all they had to look forward to. And so those times have changed tremendously. Well, Rick, I mean, it's just really, I pinch myself to when I was standing out there in the middle of that field and just looking around at all those people and looking, you know, to my right at the people who were lined up there with me. It's just an honor. It's not something that you go out trying to achieve when you start in your career. You just want to go out and do the very best you can, try to make a difference in the lives of the people that you're fortunate enough to rub shoulders with. As people who know about me going into the Hall of Fame, I hope that they can say, I know her and she's made a difference in my life, and because that's what I have wanted to do since I got started in this education business.
Now, Q obviously has a serious side, but has remained very close to her family in Reidsville. They have even accompanied her to some of the sites of the National Federation summer meetings. A charter member of the Mars Hill College Sports Hall of Fame, and now a member of the NCHSAA Hall of Fame, Q Tucker. The induction class of 2010-2011, Harvey Brooks, Toonie Brooks, Tom Brown, Bob Catapano, the late Joe Hunt, Carolyn Rogers, and Q Tucker, the newest members of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame.